All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rachakwadash, double honor to the apostles, the elders, the elder bishops, the great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, to the men on the highways and the byways that are pushing out this word in truth and sincerity, and to the remnant men, women, and children of the elect. To you all, I say Shalom. My name is Ahmawan Ahyash, and I'm back with another lesson through the power and the spirit of Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi. And I just wanted to do a lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying. This video had come across my feed, and I, happened to watch it. And very telling, very, one of those videos where you can, because look, at the end of the day, what we're doing, and what the world is now seeing is that, what the Israelites, the men on the highways and the byways, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, but these men, what we've been saying and prophesying and teaching about, it's all coming true, right? At this point, it is absolutely undeniable. The word of Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi was written in the scriptures, what's about to come to pass and what has been coming to pass. Okay. It's undeniable. You can't get away from it. Okay. You can't mock and scorn and laugh your way out of the judgments that are coming, the prophecies that are set for America, Babylon the Great, Esau, Edom, 2/3 of the nation of Israel. There's a lot of mass death and accountability we're about to see. People are about to be held accountable for their actions. And as you can see on the screen, it says famine is coming. And famine is one of the ways that the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi, is going to bring judgment upon the wicked. Okay? And the wicked, we know, of course, starting with Esau, Edom. All right? But the wicked trickles down to other nations and also 2/3 of the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And what I want to point out in this video, in this lesson, this video that I'm going to play, okay, these gentlemen are talking about famine that's soon to come and how it's written, how it's all written in the scriptures, right? The things, the events that are soon to take place, it's all written, okay? And he's going to mention some things that I wrote down, that he quoted, that I wrote down, that I want to jump into to further show that's what's written in the scriptures is absolute. The word of Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi will not fail. Okay. The Most High is true, and every man a liar. Okay. And the Lord is going to make liars out of those who buck up against the truth. Because the truth is, the truth cannot be contested, for the lack of a better word. Right? You can't confound the truth. Okay? So let me play this. Got a couple points that I want to make, and I'll wrap it up.
To put us into famine, because pandemic, famine, and war, they go together like the triangle of death.
What do you advise people do to get ready for it?
It's not going to be easy, and especially if you live in a major city. People go to cannibalism within 2 weeks. They're going to be coming into your house. When the crickets come out, it's time to do X.
Great advice just for everybody today. I want to dive into some of the stuff you've been talking about, a famine coming. and setting the stage. So I know this goes back to your time in the Netherlands. How does that tie in?
Right, or actually, yeah, that's why I went to Netherlands. Now, in 2020, that was the first time I started warning about potential famine, because I could see conditions were starting to be set for that, right? And it's all about conditions.
You noticed this in 2020?
Oh yeah, I was publishing it like almost daily back then to get ready for it, get ready for famine, because it's clearly it's a long flash to bang. And so I've been studying it quite a lot. I read a couple dozen books on it now, and on famine. I read more than 60 on pandemic, but I'd read about 40 before the pandemic, because pandemic, famine, and war, they go together. They're a triangle. So you see patterns. You see, and if you get a big war, you always get famine, and you always get pandemic. If you get a big a big one. If you get a big pandemic, a very serious one, you'll always get famine and war, right? They just go together, like the triangle of death. So I was talking about this in this interview, and a reader, she called up, she was kind, and she's like, you talk about this as if you made it up. And I said, I did. She said, no, it's in the Bible, the four horsemen, right? I was like, yeah, you're right. I literally have plagiarized the Bible. Like, if you're going to plagiarize, I guess go big. But they knew it 2,000 years ago. So all these patterns, nothing's changed. I've started to look at the Bible as like a survival manual. You know what I mean?
Me both.
I mean, seriously, it's like it's all there. Nothing's new under the sun, right? I mean, it's like,
a lot of the stuff that's happening today,
yep,
is talked about in the Bible.
It's just
back then.
It's there. You know, it's like, the only thing they didn't have was iPhones or something. But they saw the human patterns. They knew the human behaviors. The pursuit of money is the root of all evil. How's that? You know, I mean, the huge amount. What we see, the problems now is people just going for the dollar, right? I mean, it's all there, right? And so, yeah.
All right, I'll stop it there, because the points that I want to touch on were already made by these two gentlemen, and a couple things that stood out. The first thing was that he mentioned that, that he was that he made this stuff up, and then I guess some lady said that that it's all written in the Bible. And he was like, yeah, I guess I plagiarized it. So let's just be clear on one thing. We're not going to let these, what appear to be Edomites, take credit for the word of Yahawashi, right? You're not going to take credit for the things that are written, things that were established from the foundation of the earth, okay? So let's not do that. Okay, you didn't make this up, but let's give them credit for being honest about, these events that are taking place is written. Okay, and that's what makes the word Yahawashi true. Okay, let's start out with 2 Ezra 9:1, because that's always a good place to stop when we talk about prophecy. 2 Ezra 9:1 says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Okay, so when you measure the time diligently in itself, as we always talk about, okay, it's easy to see that food shortages are upon this place. Famine. Okay, you see the disruption in supply chains. You see the dollar collapsing. You see how food is manufactured and grown. What Esau's doing with the farmers and things of that nature. He's got things like 3D meat, and he's got all these chemicals in the food and this, that, and the third. A lot of stuff ain't even real food. When you consider all these things, you get to see exactly what's happening. Okay, and you get to come up with a conclusion to these things, and at the end of the day, it just shows. There's a famine coming. Okay, and let's be clear, there's two types of famines coming. There's going to be a lack of bread. Okay. And there's going to be a famine of the word. Okay. And something else that the gentleman pointed out. What did he say? He said, when the food goes short, within 2 weeks, people resort to cannibalism, right? Which is also written in the scriptures, man. You know, he said people are going to be running up in each other's houses. Is what he said. Okay. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 15. Okay. It's lucky my phone's tripping. But let me 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. Okay. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. Okay. So yes, men will be running up in each other's houses. Okay, because lack of resources, lack of food, this, that, and the third. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into its city and shall not be able. Okay, because there's going to be martial law being declared. Esau is going to have these cities cut off. All right, it says, for because of their pride, cities shall be troubled, their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay, it's going to be a high level of fear, you know, in these streets. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, so when you have a lack of bread, you have what? You have a famine, you have food shortages. Okay, you have disruptions in how society is used to functioning. Okay, and this is what's upon this place. Okay, and Kal Halal Yahawah for that. All right, I wrote down some of the things that this gentleman quoted in the video. He said, pandemic, famine, and war go together. Okay, he called it the triangle of death. Okay. He said pandemic, famine, and war go together, right? We say in 2nd Ezra 15, let's just jump down to 49. It says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. Okay, so when he says famine, war, pandemics go together, the triangle of death, well, that's what the scripture has been saying. Okay, not in those exact words, but when we're talking about poverty, we're talking about famine, we're talking about the sword. Okay, there's many forms of the sword. Pestilence, many different pestilences. Okay, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. All right, because Yahawashi is going to bring a famine. Yahawashi is going to bring martial law. Yahawashi will most likely bring some sort of pandemic or plague to come down. And ultimately, the sword, the Yahawashi is going to bring nuclear missiles, man. Okay? And Babylon the Great is going to be absolutely obliterated. Okay? So this man talking, he's speaking the right things, man. All right. Let's go to Matthew. All right. Matthew 24 and 6. Okay. Which we should all know by now, because these scriptures are the scriptures that are coming out that we're going to be continuing to preach and prophesy and teach about because of the times that we're in. Because when you measure the times, this is what you see, this is what you get. Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. What that gentleman say? Pandemics, famine, and war go together. Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass. And that's what I want to highlight at this point, because this is why I grabbed this scripture. For all these things must come to pass, right? There must be a famine. There must be a plague. There must be pandemics. There must be World War III. That's why you hear of wars and rumors of war. You hear wars and rumors of war because rumors don't stay rumors forever. Okay, they come to pass, and this shit goes down. Okay, that's why it says for all these things must come to pass. Not they can, not that it's possible, not should be, maybe so. No, they must come to pass because the word of Yahweh Shemal Shai is true. Okay, it's right and exact. Okay. He also said, right, it says, he said, it's starting to look, he said, I'm starting to look at the Bible as a survival manual, right? I'm starting to look at the Bible as a survival manual. What do the scriptures say? Okay, one of my favorite scriptures, Isaiah 33:6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. Of course, it's a survival manual because this is the thing that this is the scriptures, the word of Yahweh Shemal Shai, the wisdom that comes from it. Okay, the knowledge and the wisdom and the word and the names of Yahweh Shemal Shai. This is going to be the stability. This is the only way to remain stable. This is the only way to survive what's coming. Okay, the stability of thy times. What are those? What are thy times? What are those times that are coming upon us? Well, that's what we're talking about, and that's what the gentleman was mentioning. Famine is a part of those times. The MOTB, the mass implementation of the digital, all right, of that implant, man. That micro C hip. Okay, that's a part of the times that are coming. And the wisdom and knowledge that you get from on high, from Yahweh Shemal Shai, if the Holy Spirit is with you, the Rachak Wadash, the wisdom and knowledge is going to keep you stable in the times where all of these calamities are coming to pass. And the judgments of Yahweh Shemal Shai is coming down upon the wicked. The wisdom and knowledge that you got during these times, these times right now, are preparing us for what's to come. And that's why it's going to be the stability of thy times and the strength of that salvation, because that's what's on the table. Salvation is on the table currently. Okay. Not figuring out how this world's going to recover from the things that are coming, because it's not. America, Babylon the Great is not going to survive. It's not going to survive the judgments that are coming. Not going to survive these plagues, these pestilences, these wars that are coming. All right. It says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Okay. And only the man of the Lord is going to fear Yahweh Shemal Shai. That's it. The rest of you niggas just want to be in this world and figure things out while you're here. But this place is fucking finished, man. This place is done. And Kal Halal Yahawah Shemal Shai for that, because we want out of this place. This place is done. What else did he say? Oh, he said, as I was paused the video, he said a huge part of what we're seeing is people going for the dollar. Okay, and then he quoted, not verbatim, but he quoted 1 Timothy 6:10. So let me just go there real quick. Since he quoted it, and I can make a point about it. 1 Timothy 6:10 says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Let's say, okay, he's talking about people chasing money, right? For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through many sorrows. You know why? Because when you covered after money, when you covered out really after anything in this world, it's going to distract you. And that's what Edom has done with this whole financial system and this whole praising of money. It has distracted you. And a lot of people have erred from the faith. We even see that amongst Israelites, okay, who know they're Israelites and have camps and congregations. They've erred from the faith because of their love of money. Okay. And this is not going to be something that's going to bode well for you if you know, if that's the case. All right, the love of money is the root. Now, money's not the root of all evil, but the love of it and the pursuit of it. You know, the coveting after money is the root of all evil, because this money in this system, the way it's set up, it's an idol. Okay, and men love money more than they love Yahawashi, and that's a fact. It's not by coincidence. It's not by happenstance. It's by design. Okay, giving you a false sense of abundance. He's giving you a false sense of life and living. Okay, this kingdom here that we're living in, that we're seeing, is not worth the money that is, it's not worth the paper that is printed on, man. The money here is not worth anything. It doesn't have any real value. Okay, as we can see. We see America circling a drain because he can't keep the financial system and the dollar and the value of it afloat. Okay, and make no mistake about it, this is an orchestrated collapsing of the dollar. We know that, but guess what? The people don't know it. It's something that the elder of our camp, Ahmawan Bar, said to us. It was a while ago, maybe at some point last year. I feel like it was like last summer. He said the only thing that's keeping this system, this financial system together, is people's belief in it. And I'll never forget that, because it was very, very heavy, man. Okay, the belief in this system is what keeps it afloat. Because Esau could keep kicking the can down the road if people feel like this is something to covet after, chase after. Hey, money is the defense, man. And that's why we use it. All right, we use this world. We don't abuse this world. Okay, because this world is not for us. We do what we got to do. Look to survive. Beg Yahawashi to deliver us in that time. That's it, man. Everything else is pointless. All right, everything else is pointless. This place has to burn, and that's what we're looking for. That's what we're fighting for. So these conversations are going to continuously happen, because it's the word of Yahawashi. The truth is coming out. Okay, you can only hide the truth for but so long. Let me get this last one and close it out, because it's also one of my favorites. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 28, and it says, "As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which has been so long without fruit, shall be declared." So like I was saying, you can only hide the truth but so long. You can only mask the truth for but so long. Eventually, the truth will surface. It will rise to the top, as it is today, as it is now. All right, and we're seeing all of these beautiful works of Yahawashi come to pass. We hope and pray for it. We hope and pray to be delivered, because there is no covering except the covering of Yahawashi. All right, so with that, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you were edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the elder bishops, the great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.